from the cold and dark north of Finland. We have reached the darkest time of the year, when the sun can only be seen from a bird's eye perspective. Its first and last rays occur at the same time of the day these days. There is only a fleeting moment of pink and blue skies that fade into a long night, with moonlight and the northern lights as the only sources of light. Even with the darkness, life must go on. We try to make the most out of the short hours of light and spend as much outside as we can. I have heard a phrase that we are born to endure this darkness and the cold weather, but every year at this time, I really start to question my cold and dark bearing heritage. With very little snow even now in December, everything feels so much darker and colder. Snow's job is to cover the ground, plants and animals, providing them shelter from the ruthless wind and the storms and cold. This year has been a rarity due to the small amount of snow. I'm sitting on our home lake's ice, and I really hope you can hear those sounds. The ice is literally cracking beneath me, but it's also cracking because it is also freezing right beneath me. It's now maybe 10 a.m. and the sun still hasn't... Did you hear that? The sun still hasn't come up. And yesterday it was quite warm, but last evening and last night it was really cold, like minus 20 Celsius degrees. So that is why the ice is making these sounds now, because the temperature dropped so fast. And we don't often hear these because usually we have so much snow already. The lake freezes, and then there comes so much snow on the ice that the process is so much slower, the freezing process, that it doesn't make this sound. But now it freezes so fast that it's cracking and it's trying to find its place, and it's magical. December brings all the Christmassy things that help us endure the cold and darkness. I have never been a so-called Christmas person until I became an adult and realized that Christmas can look exactly the way I wanted it to. It doesn't need all glisten and glitter and piles of gifts or a lot of money spent. Just a few lights to bring us hope for the dark evenings, music to cheer our spirits, and valuable, unhurried time with my dearest people. Everything else is just extra hustle and bustle that most of us don't need. As for decorating our house for Christmas, we haven't bought much. Some lights were already in our attic, and apparently these kinds of traditional, natural decorations are no longer wanted, as I found them and many other traditional Christmas decorations almost for free at our local second-hand store. We also don't have many decorations for our Christmas tree, so I have been trying to make our own. I wanted to try to dry oranges for decoration, but I don't think dried oranges have a long tradition in Finland as ornaments, since they haven't been sold in our grocery stores for a long time. I still remember my father telling me stories about when he first tasted oranges and saw them in stores. They were considered a great treat and a valuable commodity not long ago. It's starting to feel like Christmas already. We have been just decorating the house, and yeah, it feels really good that Christmas is coming. To me, it is mainly just about peacefulness, like really quiet time with your loved ones, maybe some board games or listening to good music and watching movies and just hanging out. This forest that I'm actually now in, we bought this a while ago. We didn't have any forest when we bought the house. It was just a little, really small plot of land because it has been like a summer cabin for, I think after the 1960s, it has been just a summer cabin. But since we live here and we have plans for the future, we needed more land, so we really wanted to have just a little piece of forest and a little piece of field, and we have now bought it. I am so amazed because I have never ever in my life owned a forest. If you hear some sounds, they are coming from our house. Esa is putting the Christmas lights outside, he wanted to try to put it around our house. So let's see how that works out. But another thing why I'm so happy that we got this forest, and just as a side note, this is a teeny tiny forest. I don't know if I can even call it forest. I can probably throw a rock on the other side of it, but still, it's a forest. Let's come to that. Because now I can get all sorts of material from the forest, because in Finland we have this thing called everyone's right. That means that you can walk in anyone's forest or land. You don't have to ask for permission. You can pick up berries and mushrooms in anyone's forest. But there's also a law that you cannot cut any trees or harm anything, permanently. Tear down moss or take bark from trees if it's not your own or if you don't have a permission. Also, you cannot set a fire in anyone's forest. But now that this is ours, I don't have to ask for permission. I can do this without permission because it's ours.